Hi everybody, today I'm going to read Ian Beck's picture book, but actually you're going to help me read it. So we remember that good readers use the picture to help them figure out words they come to that they don't know in their reading, and we can also look at the sounds in the word to help us figure out what would make sense that we see in the picture that has those sounds. So you're going to help me read Ian Beck's picture book. So we see a picture. And this is the word. Starts with B, ends with K. What do you see in the picture that could have those sounds? Read it with me. Book. Good job. Okay, here we see a lot going on, but I see a little girl with a watering can. She's growing some flowers, some trees, an apple tree. This word begins with a G. G says G, and I see a N at the end. So what would make sense? Let's read it together. Garden. Good job. Now we see another picture. This word begins with B and ends with O. Read it with me. Ball. Next page. We see another picture. We see the little girl, or maybe it's a little boy this time, looking out the window. And this word begins with H. And so read it with me. House. Good job. Now this little girl is holding a big bouquet of, read it with me, flowers. Remember, when they put an S on the end of a word, it means there's more than one of it. So definitely there are more than one flower up here. And you could pause the video and count how many flowers you see. Share it with someone at home. Now, here's a word that begins with SH, and remember that SH says shh, and if we look all the way to the end of the word, it ends with P. So what do you see in the picture that could have those sounds? Read it with me. Sheep. Good job. Next page, we see the little boy running. This is like a circle or a hoop, and this is how kids in the old days used to play. They would run along with a stick, and they would move the hoop along as they ran using the stick. And so what word could this be by looking at the picture? Starts with ends with N, and this is one of those words we could actually sound out. So if you want to sound it out with me. Run. Say it fast. Run. Good job. Now in this picture, we see a couple of things, but the word begins with an A. I see a P in the middle, N at the end. So read it with me. Airplane. That's right, it's not just plane, it's an airplane. It could just say plane, but it starts with A, so it's airplane. I bet everybody knows what this one will be. Read it with me. Cat. Good job. Now, this picture has a big tree on it, but tree starts with T, and I don't see a T, I see a S. And remember, we had said that ing together say ing. So what do you think it could say? Read it with me. Swing. And sure enough, there's a swing in the picture. Next picture, we see a big, read it with me, cow. What do we see falling from the sky? Read it with me. Snow. And here we see a tree, we see the wind is blowing, we see a teddy bear. This word begins with T and has D in there. So we do see a tree, and tree starts with T, but I don't hear a D in the word tree. So let's say this word together. This says teddy. He's hugging his teddy. Now they're together on the top of the hill. And remember, SH says shh, and we see a woo at the end. So they are looking at their shadow. They could have even put an S on the end because there's more than one shadow. Now look on this page, look at all of those. And we know that C says K, and so this word must say clouds. And again, there's that S at the end because there's definitely more than one cloud in the sky. Okay, here's a big picture. What is she looking out at? begins with S. Read it with me. Sea. Good, she's looking out at the sea. Here's the teddy again, but it doesn't say teddy because teddy starts with T. This word begins with an F. What do you think it says? What would make sense? Face. Yep, we see the teddy's face. We also see the little girl's face on this button he's wearing. Let's take a look at this picture. We see like a potted tree, we see some other plants, we see a hill, we see the little boy, but the word starts with J and ends with P. So what would make sense? Let's read it together. Jump. Good job. Take a look at this picture. We can sound this one out. Sun. Say it fast. Sun. Good job. Now in this picture we see a raincoat, we see an umbrella, we see leaves, we see a tree, we see the hill, but this word begins with woo. So what's happening in the picture that could start with that sound? Let's read it together. Wind. Good job. And we do see the wind blowing in that picture, just like it was windy yesterday. And now we see SH again, and remember SH says sh. And at the end of the word we see a P. So let's read it together. Ship. Now this has two words because I see a word here and then a finger space and then another word. So this little girl is just standing there on the hill. So we can see actually the word and inside of this word, don't we? That's a sight word. A-N-D, and. So this is the word stand. And what do you think this might say? Still. Good job. Stand still. And this is a big picture of a, read it with me, pig. And in this picture we see something that begins with B. So this word is balloon. Good job. Oops, sorry. And then in this picture we see a big, read it with me, duck. Good job. Okay, again, we see an umbrella, we see a little girl, we see a puddle, we see the teddy bear, but the word begins with So what is going on in the picture that would make sense that starts with that sound? Read it with me. Rain. Good job. And on this page, he's looking up at the, read it with me, moon. Good job. And this is a picture of a big fish. And here we see that SH at the end of the word, and that's where we hear it, fish. We say that sound last. And here is a big, read it with me, dog. And now it is night. Good job. Night. And the last page. She's climbing up the ladder to her bed. Good job. So now you could go back to the beginning of the book and mute Mrs. Ross, and you could read the words for yourself. Enjoy.